Hello, this is Emperor Haterius, and I am playing SOULCALIBUR VI for the first time since I've gotten it. And let's hop into it and I guess try to figure out the character creation and whatever else we have going for us initially. I think there's a cutscene starting out, so let's view that. Well, I guess I missed out on the cutscene. So I did try to stream this a minute ago, and I didn't want to show terms of service stuff. That's more personal. Welcome to SOULCALIBUR VI. Libra of Soul is a mission mode in which an exciting story unfolds around a character of your creation. Along the way, some missions will allow you to play through battle tutorials, so it's highly recommended that you play through this mode. You can adjust your wireless controller settings from the options menu or by selecting controls in the pause menu. Once you get a feel for the game, be sure to customize your controls to match your playstyle.
The wait is over.
Battle 1. Fight!
I don't know if there's a cutscene thing. Maybe it's a museum? Gallery. Okay, here we go. This should be it. 20th anniversary movie. Alright, that was the 20th anniversary movie, showing all the games. I know there was a cutscene, but I had to miss it redoing this. Mission, Libra of Soul. Create an original character and set forth on an adventure around the world where you'll experience Legend of the Cursed Sword from a different soul's perspective. Let's go ahead and hop into that then.
The ray of light from the evil seed pierced the sky, its glow reaching as far as India. And here we find another person whose fate was entwined with the two swords.
Consumed by the evil seed, yet still with presence of mind. A link between chaos and this world. You are quite the interesting one. Still, you will eventually succumb to the chaos, unless you engrave a clear image of yourself onto your soul.
Alright, create a character by selecting race, body type, weapons, and more. All these settings can be changed later. Human male. What other selections we got? Changing character's race or general result and other settings may be reset. Yep, let's look at what we got. Human. History chooses people to become warriors and warriors to become heroes. Humans are warriors guided by fate, or those that carve their own destiny. Teetering atop the scales of good and evil, their souls burn with potential. Outcasts. A forgotten people who have lived deep in the mountains of Europe since the dawn of time. Said to be descendants of those cursed by the gods, they are part beast and possess acute senses. Because of their fearsome forms, they often face persecution in the outside world. Lost soul. Winged. Residents of the astral chaos. These lost souls have large wings, which they use to soar through the pandemonium of their plane with a divine grace. Though they dwell in the heart of chaos, they seek order and mercilessly attack all those corrupted by darkness. Lizard Man. These human/reptile hybrids are created by the sinister cult Figel Sestimus. Their strength, agility, and skill with weaponry make them dangerous foes. The stronger the warrior they were created from, the stronger they are. Some even boast high intelligence. Mummy. Bodies mummified during a holy ceremony and brought to life by astral fissures. Though nobody knows what sort of soul fills their otherwise empty husks, their bandages swathing them are cursed and absorb energy from their surroundings. Automaton. Steel cyborgs created by the hands of the malevolent cult Figel Sestimus. Sestimus. Their human appearance may fool some, but their bodies are as cold as the dead. A cursed liquid flows through them, giving them the ability to fight on even the most treacherous of planes. Shapeshifter. Strange beasts known as doppelgangers that are able to change their shape at will. Those who happen across one meet terrible fates, giving the creatures a reputation as harbingers of death. While they are mentioned in stories across the globe, their true nature remains a mystery. Colossus. The Colossi are sculptures granted life by Hephaestus. Guardians of holy places, they are always ready to bring the iron hammer of justice down on all who dare rebel against the gods. Crafted from the earth, they are extremely heavy and tough. Hidden Village Clan. Dwelling in the heart of the forest, this long-lived tribe reveres wisdom and tranquility. Though they sometimes appear in legend, They despise conflict and thus choose to avoid contact with the outside world. However, there are a few exceptions. Malefic. The astral chaos's twisted miasma corrupted these primeval warriors, transforming them into soulless monsters whose ferocity and immense strength make them terrifying foes. Their past selves have been erased, and now they live only for one purpose: to fight. Lost Soul, Horned. Residents of the astral chaos, these winged lost souls look uncannily like demons, and even the bravest of warriors quails in fear at the sight of them. Many are highly intelligent and sadistic and load those with goodness in their hearts. Darksider, a clan who has lived in the twilight for centuries. Rulers of the night, said to be at one with darkness. They reside in the mountains at the earth's depths. Their eerie glowing eyes twist the minds of those who behold them, and some say it is they, not humans, who stand atop the food chain. Revenant. Living corpses animated by malevolent energies. Some shamble to their feet because of the soul edge. Others a dark curse. Some are even born from the earth's energy. Regardless of their origin, there is only one way to stop them. Cut them off from their power source. Malfested. Malfested may appear normal at a glance, but the sickly pallor of their skin and their glowing red eyes mark them as ones driven mad by soul edge. By giving in to the evil within them, a Malfested can push its body to the limit, gaining superhuman strength and speed. Malfested Mutated. Malfested so consumed by evil that they have begun mutating into hellish monstrosities. Though some retain their sanity, most become mindless beasts that exist only to slaughter and destroy. As their corruption progresses, ominous glowing marks form on their body. Malfested Fully Transformed. The malevolent energies swirling in these once human vessels have long since taken control of their mindless hosts, twisting them into avatars of pure evil. Extremely rare and extremely powerful. If one is set loose upon the world, untold thousands will surely die. Ooh, there's a lot of options here, and I really like that. So let's start off with human. Male. What would you lose power when you get tall? I would imagine you get more power. Well,
Let's go.
I am beautiful. I am...
Weaklings must taste death. Weaklings? Well, guess I gotta clobber you.
I can't run away. I won't hold back. Ah, this'll be easy.
You will die.
This should be a good fight.
You will die.
This fight will be a pleasure.
Why do you choose to fight? Why do you choose to fight?
I can see the fear in your eyes.
Let's go!
I am beautiful.
Weaklings must taste death.
Let's...
Why do you choose to fight? Why do you choose to fight?
Ah, yes, the previous faces of the games. I remember these faces, especially this one. Oh, there should have been more options. Because I remember specifically these faces from SOULCALIBUR 4. I think I used that one for Emperor. He has a thicker beard, but I don't like the face. That's another thing. The other guy's mouth is open. So it's not exactly appealing. What's up, Pepe? Just dealing with trying to figure out the system here of creating my character. I know who you are. I'm just saying it. Because it's easier. I know you're Sal. Ooh. Where's the blue? Oh, saturation. There we go. It doesn't really give you the option, like tell you to use the L1 and R1. Oh, it's eye color, okay. Hey, Lord Wicks. Yes, sir, Mr. Zorless, sir. You got me playing on the big TV instead of the advertisements? That'd be pretty baller. Oh, I can't color my cat ears because I don't have them. Why do they give me these options if I can't use them? Undergarments, I guess, is what these are. Well, that's the pick the color for all of it. That's cool. Yeah, that sucks. Awesome. Here's the fighting styles. I know what I'm gonna go for the most part, just from my weebness, but okay, let me just see what we got here. I'm gonna list them off. The katana, a fighting style that specializes in razor-sharp Japanese swords. Although viable for combat at any distance, it excels at close-range fighting. Clever use of the special fighting stances Mist and Relic can enable a wide array of offensive strategies during fights as well. Zanbato, a fighting style that makes heavy use of a centrifugal force to make every blow hit hard. As such, it's designed to keep enemy fighters at bay from afar and not let them close the gap. It's also superb at whittling down guard stamina and breaking through any enemy defenses. Ninja Sword ×2. No other fighting style even comes close to matching this one when it comes to sheer attack speed. Barrages of attacks that can chip away at an opponent's life even as they're guarding make it highly dangerous, and rush attacks out of special stances can also quickly end a round. Nunchaku. Powerful, painful nunchaku combos are the name of the game with this fighting style. Its myriad special stances allow for a number of unique combos whose movements are difficult to predict. Smart usage of its 7 stars rebirth to change stances can make this style even more potent in the right hands. Qatar Jamadar ×2. Distinctive weapons wielded in both hands and bizarre, erratic moves make this style deadly and unpredictable in equal measure. Its users can launch powerful attacks with their backs turned to the enemy as their bodies contort in ways that are altogether unthinkable to most any normal fighter. Short sword and small shield. Moves are kept on the light side with this sword and shield fighting style. It's highly maneuverable. Angel Step can quickly cover distance, letting its users score deadly blows at close range. It also possesses a wealth of moves that can attack enemies while simultaneously repelling their strikes. Zweihander. The hulking two-handed sword employed in this fighting style is used to provide superb defense by stringing together stance changes. It's no offensive slouch either, as special stances can quickly break an enemy's guard. On the off chance a user's life drops below a certain point, many of their attacks also become stronger. Snake Sword. Armed with a snake sword whose shape can be changed at will. Users of this long-range fighting style can deftly avoid close quarters combat with techniques that keep foes at bay. Equipped with powerful moves that can only be activated at a certain distance, this style is made to deal out major damage from far away. Rod. The staff used by this fighting style has a long reach, but can capably respond to enemy attacks at any distance. Additionally, the vast number of defensive moves available make practitioners tough to take down. While a soul charge is active, offensive strength rises, but at the cost of the user's life being slowly drained. Interesting. Chinese Sword. This fighting style makes use of quick slashes dished out by a Chinese sword. Every swing flows smoothly and elegantly like choreographed dance as they poke and prod at weak points in enemy defenses. Its silent Xia Shang special stance can also be used to stage confusing, unpredictable attacks on enemies. Katana and Wakizashi. A katana, wakizashi, and a strange ninjutsu constitute this unique fighting style. Although a close range by nature, its users can also fly and move around the ring in a blink of an eye. They can even steal soul gauge from enemy fighters, which is used to launch powerful attacks on their weakened foes. Zweihander Nightmare style. Users of this mid-range fighting style swing heavy greatswords as if they're as light as a feather. Their powerful attacks have great reach and give users numerous options for driving enemies to the edge of the ring. Plus, the revenge abilities prevent them from flinching when hit and allowing them to stay on the offensive. Giant Axe. As if the Giant Axe isn't imposing enough, users of this fearsome style also deal massive damage when throwing enemies around. Their revenge abilities let them take hits without flinching, which they can use to close the distance to deliver crushing holds that quickly knock opponents out of commission and end a round. Long Sword and Pistol Sword. This dual blade style brings together a long sword, a dagger, and a gun, letting practitioners slice dice and shoot their enemies full of holes in quick succession. If I can speak, succession. Feats and superhuman strength like air dashes and wall kicks can bury opponents in the flash. Blah 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 blah. Rapier. Rapier. Great length of the rapier used by this style is key to its trademark piercing hit and run attacks. Sporting admirable reach. Sorry guys, I can't read. Admirable reach and speed. It excels at fighting from outside an opponent's range, then lunging in with long, quick, and fatal blows when a foe leaves themselves open. Elbow blade ×2. Pretty much like Tonfa's. Close range fighting style that employs a variety of special movements that emphasize high speed, flexibility, and number of hits. This speed is used to launch surprise attacks and punish enemies when their attacks leave them exposed. Fighters in this style can use their special Wind Fury stance to deal high amounts of damage. Death Scythe. This fighting style takes full advantage of the scythe's length in order to be deadly at any range. The key to victory for its practitioners calls for unique reliance on curses to draw their enemies in, as well as magic that can stop the flow of time. Double Saber. Users of this style dominate mid-range fights with their long, double-bladed swords. They can even split the weapon in two to use special stances in order to outwit opponents. When a soul charge is active, their maneuverability and attack strength increase so considerably that they can annihilate enemy fighters and end rounds within seconds. Bipolar Pulse Enhancement Device. Dual swords, a giant axe, and a spear and shield can all be willed into existence with mastery of this style. These weapons are invisible until they're summoned, making attacks impossible to predict. Each weapon has its own ideal range, and after the initial summon can be quickly recalled, making this style highly strategic in nature. Long Sword ×2. Two long swords are wielding in this fighting style, designed for use in any situation. The silver sword is particularly noteworthy, growing deadlier whenever an opponent activates Soul Charge. In addition to blades, a practitioner can also use basic magic to stay on top of fights and emerge victorious. So those are the weapon styles that I can pick. I honestly thought they were jumping back to Soul Calibur 3 with the additional fighting styles that weren't based on characters, but you do what you gotta do. So I'm gonna go with the katana, which I believe is Mitsurugi's style. That's always been my go-to style for Emperor character. Character named Gary. No. No, it's not Gary. Oh, this is a fighter. I'm gonna do it in all caps. Oh, I can't go beyond. Sure. Are you not gonna let me do Emperor Hate? It's not Emperor Gary, it's Emperor Hate. Maybe I have to do it lowercase. No? I'm confused. Am I being forced to be Gary? I'm now moving to the done button, but it's still... Can I please have a name that's not Gary? That's mine? Maybe I'm not supposed to have spaces. Let's try this. Which is kind of lame. I've got all those... There we go. Let's see if I can put a space in it now. Nope. Emperor Hate as one word, that's fine. That is kind of lame. It should... Some games set it where you don't have spacing.
If you can keep a hold of who you are, you will be able to stave off the chaos. Now arise. Take up your weapon and fight. Your life depends on it.
Journey's Dawn, Convergence. 1584. Exclamation. When I woke up, my head was pounding. Maybe it was the nightmare I'd had, but I could barely catch my breath or stop shaking. You're finally awake. It seems you had quite the nightmare. A man in a hood stood at my side. His appearance suggested someone quiet but strong-willed. My name is Zoslamel, and I know what's happened to you. You were greatly affected by the evil seed. You escaped becoming a Malfested, but I'm afraid you may not escape death. Oh, it's actual dialogue choices in a SOULCALIBUR game. Ask about the Malfested. They are beings whose bodies and minds have been twisted by evil. Symptoms vary, but some are known to become monsters. Many Malfested lose all sense of reason, become violent, and attack people. Luckily for you, fate put you on a different path. Okay, ask about the evil seed. It is a great evil that burst forth from Western Europe as a torrent of light and rained down around the world. Ask about your nightmare and the headache. Your body does not appear to have been altered by the evil seed. However, it seems to have affected your soul, linking it to what is called the astral chaos. The astral chaos is a curious realm where great powers collide. In time, it will consume your soul, resulting in your death. Your nightmare and headache are a sign of what is to come. If you wish to continue living, come with me. I will teach you how to extend your life. Drona's battle tutorial. The next area, or the area next to Journey's Dawn, is the dojo of Drona, a martial arts master. Here you can play the battle tutorial for SOULCALIBUR VI. Visit Drona's dojo to train before starting your adventure. Moving between areas. You can move from your current location to any location you have previously visited by pressing change location with a square to open a list of available locations. If you want to play a battle tutorial, choose Drona's dojo. Let's do battle tutorial. Training the basics. Training the basics. I had heard rumor of a famous local dojo run by a well-respected man named Drona, who is reputed to be adept in all martial arts. This tutorial on basics of combat and the battle system. Note that explanations refer to the game's default controls, which I have still. Learned the basic controls and battle systems. Shows the stage. No reward. Looks like food is an object you can take with you into battle. I learned of a highly respected martial arts instructor in India named Drona, praised as the very model of a warrior. I made my way across treacherous mountain paths and traversed crumbling ledges before finally reaching my destination, a dojo surrounded by burbling mountain streams. To one side of the dojo, a diverse group of young warriors were enthusiastically practicing with weapons, having come from far and wide. I'd heard many of them even came from royal or noble bloodlines, unlike their master's humble roots. Drona. Hail, traveler. What business do you have so deep in the mountains? I told him my name, and that I'd come here to learn. Well, Emperor Haterius, I never refuse anyone with a desire to learn. However, I live in seclusion because I have earned the ire of the local king. If you stay, you too may find yourself with a powerful enemy. Are you sure about this? I nodded, and he continued. Very well. I will train you. But before we begin, let me see your skills. Movements. Press and hold the with D-pad to run in that direction. This is called an 8-way run. Additionally, you can lightly press a direction with the D-pad to perform a quick step in that direction.
Completed.
Press square to hinder your opponent's movements with a horizontal attack. Press triangle to perform a damaging vertical attack. Or press circle to unleash a quick kick, perfect for close range combat.
Feel fear. Pathetic.
Interesting.
Completed.
Rapidly press any attack button to perform a combo unique to each character. You can perform a basic combo attack by rapidly pressing square or triangle, either by themselves or while pressing forward. Press and hold X to guard against your opponent's attacks. Guarding from a standing position will protect you from attacks aimed at your upper body.
Completed.
Crouching guard. Press down while holding X to perform a crouching guard. Guarding while in this position will protect you from attacks aimed at your feet.
Completed.
Low attacks are used to aim for your opponent's legs and can be performed by pressing diagonal left and an attack button together. Reversal edge. Press and hold R1 to perform a reversal edge, which allow you to defend yourself by parrying your opponent's attacks and following up with your own. Successfully landing a reversal edge will create some distance between you and your opponent and cause you both to take fighting stances.
Feel despair.
After taking a fighting stance, both you and your opponent will enter a clash phase in which actions can be performed with square, triangle, or circle, each resulting in a different attack. The attacks all have a rock, scissors, paper relationship with one another, where square beats circle, circle beats triangle, and triangle beats square.
Give in. Feel fear.
Clashes will normally only occur after successful reversal edge. However, if you successfully parry your opponent's attack and continue to hold R1 for a set amount of time, you can enter a clash even if your reversal edge is blocked.
Feel fear. Pathetic.
Cool.
Feel fear.
That's really cool.
Feel despair. Too slow. Feel fear. Time to win.
Oh.
Feel despair.
Parry an attack with a reversal edge.
Feel fear.
Oh, I didn't show the rest. Critical edge. The glowing yellow gauge at the top of the screen is your soul gauge. Pressing R2 while the soul gauge is at 1 or higher will allow you to perform a critical edge, a special attack that inflicts a massive amount of damage on your opponent.
Taste power. Be gone. Eternal sleep. Weak.
Completed.
Soul Charge. Pressing left and R2 with the gauge at 1 or higher will allow you to perform a soul charge, which may send your opponent flying or temporarily increase the amount of damage you inflict. Among other effects, while the soul charge is in effect, the soul gauge changes appearance to indicate time remaining.
Before me! You feel fear! Feel despair! Pathetic! Feel fear! What? Feel despair! You ran! This is it! Time to win!
Completed.
Soul Charge. You can also perform powerful techniques called fierce attacks while a soul charge is in effect. You can view a list of fierce attacks for each character by selecting gauge attacks from the move list. This concludes the basic tutorial. You should now have enough information about the different attack and guard options available to you, as well as have a good idea of how to use your soul gauge. With this knowledge at your fingertips, you'll be able to hold your own in battle.
Kneel! Before me! This is it! Fair! This is it! Yo! Feel despair! This is it! Completed!
You appear to have mastered basic fighting techniques. Master Drona's expression grew clouded. Let me tell you a story. When I first began my training, I had a fellow disciple who was slightly older and always looked down on me. I wanted to prove myself against him, so I learned a powerful technique. And yet, when the time came, I still could not defeat him. It turned out I was unable to actually use the technique when the chance came. My folly became evident. Instead of focusing on learning a flashy technique, I should have worked on improving my fundamental skills. So I dedicated myself to practicing the fundamentals. When I was satisfied, I went to challenge him once again, but I was too late. He had lost his life in a war against a neighboring kingdom. This man had a son who claimed vengeance against the one who slew his father only half a year after later. Now, he is a warrior even more skilled than his father was. Take this letter of introduction. If you ever have a chance, you should pay him a visit. I took Master Drona's letter, thanked him, and left the dojo behind. Rewards acquired: 30 XP, 5 style XP, 0 money. It seems to be more training. Training attacking 1. When I went to see Master Drona, he greeted me warmly. Today our practice would focus on attacks. Learn a variety of attacks and offensive tactics. It is good to see you again. Master Drona greeted me with a warm smile when I arrived at his dojo. To what do I owe the pleasure? Come to train, perhaps? If so, I applaud your dedication. Today, I'd like to teach you about the many different attacks you can employ in battle. Eth the Bith, I remember you. While in crouching guard, release X and press an attack button to perform a crouching attack. You can also perform a rising attack by releasing D-pad and pressing the attack button as you stand. Rising attack. Releasing. Okay, there. Yeah, that's a rising. Dual button attacks. Press square and triangle or triangle and circle to perform a dual button attack. Square and triangle performs a strong attack, while triangle and circle performs a special action. Though the exact effects differ for each character. The details for each character's attacks can be viewed from the move list in the pause menu.
This is it. Get. Begin. Begin. This is
Yeah, I
it.
remember playing this character style throughout Soul Calibur 4 and 3. Even the PS3 online game and the fifth game. There were some more features in the 5th game though. Kind of confused me. Press an attack button during an 8-way run, or after pressing a directional with that twice to perform a uniquely directional attack known as an 8-way run attack. The details for each character's attacks can be viewed from the move list. Slide kick. Throwing. Throws are effective techniques to use against opponents in a standing guard position. Press L2, X and square, or square and X, or left L2, square and X to grab your opponent and throw them. The amount of damage done in direction thrown depend on the angle at which you grab your opponent. Special attacks. Break attacks, L1 or square and triangle, are characterized by streaks of lightning and cannot be blocked with a reversal edge. Unblockable attacks are characterized by flames and cannot be blocked by your opponent. The former are marked on the move list with BA, while the latter are marked with UA.
Take this. Submit. Submit. Take this. Take this. Completed.
That is all I know about attack types. Next, I'd like to teach you about the effects you can inflict on your opponent using your attacks. Attacking 2. During our time together, Master Drona reminisced about his time training. Increase your knowledge of the effects triggered by attacks. Offense is not about attacking wildly. In order to claim victory against a skilled foe, you must know when and where to use what technique. So, let us begin your next lesson. Attacking your opponent as they perform certain actions will counter a counter hit, which can increase the damage and or number of hits you do. Attacking the opponent begins their attack. As your opponent begins their attack, will activate an attack counter, while attacking as they move will activate as a run counter.
Feel despair. Submit. Bear. Weak. Yo. Yeah. Completed.
Stuns. Certain attacks will send yellow streaks of lightning through your opponent, causing them to stagger and enter a stunned state. Attacking a stunned opponent provides counter effects, and following up with different stun attacks can initiate a stun combo.
This is it.
Oh, become stunned. Okay. I'm just gonna lay here. Crushing an opponent's guard. Continuing to attack your opponent as they guard will cause your opponent's health gauge to begin flashing, yellow and eventually red. Attacking your opponent while it's red will crush their guard, leaving them vulnerable and providing your attacks with counter benefits.
Brace yourself. This is it. Yo. This is it. Too slow. You rest. Completed.
Lethal hits. Landing attacks under certain conditions, for example L1, square, and triangle, when countering a reversal edge, will register your attack as a lethal hit. Successfully performing a lethal hit will slow your opponent down, giving you the chance to chain follow-up attacks more easily.
This is it. Brace yourself. Take this. Take this. Take this. Take this. Submit. Too slow. Taste power. Be gone. Eternal sleep. Weak. Dear. Yo. Take this.
I'm really liking the gameplay so far.
I shall crush you. Soya. Soya. Da. Sing. Yo. Too slow. Soya. Sa. Soya. Yo. Sa. Completed.
List of the various conditions and attacks that can trigger lethal hits for each character can be found in the move list. You've grown more skilled, but as you continue to advance, you will no doubt eventually find yourself against a seemingly insurmountable wall. Let me tell you a story from my past. When I was young, I traveled the world as an itinerant warrior. One day, I was in a distant north of the Ming Empire, in a place called Suichan. told Drona that Sichuan was in the southwest of the Ming Empire, but he simply looked at me, puzzled. It is? Really? Well, wherever it may be, I was there. And let me tell you, there was a tribe of fierce warriors. It was during my time with them that I met Hong Yu. Hong Yu was a strong and beautiful young woman. Her slender limbs wielded a blade with great finesse, and her strikes were quick as lightning. She could fend off any attack, nimbly moving like a young willow tree in the breeze. I immediately fell in love with her. However, she told me she could never love me unless I could best her in combat. In a contest of strength, I'd beat her easily, but her defense was impenetrable. My attacks were blocked, parried, or avoided. I couldn't even touch her. That was because I had not yet learned how to pierce a talented foe's defense. I have learned a thing or two since then, such as the effectiveness of throws against an opponent who rarely lets their guard down, and that there are special techniques that break through any guard. But back then, she defeated me and said she had no interest in the weak. I left, trained as hard as I could, and eventually returned to face her again. Unfortunately, she had already wed another. If you ever pass through Sichuan, it would do you well to see her skills for yourself. I'm sure the experience will come in handy. Vowing to take his advice to heart, I left the dojo. Alright, Defense 1. Master Drona's next lesson would be about the art of defense. Practice new strategies for dodging and reflecting attacks. I visited the dojo to find Drona at the gate, seeing off another visitor. Take care, and don't oversell the skills you've learned here, got it? Yes, Master, thank you so much for everything. I promise that one day I'll come back to visit. With those parting words, Drona's student bowed, then began trudging down the mountain path away from the dojo. Sorry to keep you waiting. Back for more training, are you? Well, come on in. When I asked about the man who had just left, Master Drona told me he was a student who had come from the desert in the northern reaches of the Ming Empire. On my way home from my romantic defeat at the hands of Hong Yu, a man saved my life in the desert. The student you just saw came here on that man's recommendation. The desert? To reach India from Sichuan, you have to head southwest. The desert was in the complete opposite direction. What's with that perplexed look? Oh, I get it. Training first, talking later. Well, today I'm going to teach you about guarding and evading. Evading vertical attacks. You can dodge your opponent's vertical attacks by moving into the foreground or background of the screen with an 8-way run. This can be a great way to avoid taking a lot of damage, as many heavy-hitting attacks are vertical. Ow. Ow.
So weird. So weak. Oh, see. Oh. Oh. So weird.
Ow.
So weird.
Ow.
So weak! Oh, too slow! This is it! Yo! So weak! Take this! Too... Oh! This is it! Take this! So weak! So weak! Say... Oh! Oh! So weak! Oh! So weak! Give in! Oh! So weak! Completed!
Evading high attacks. Performing a crouching guard will allow you to protect yourself against not only low attacks, but also let you dodge high attacks and throws as well, making an effective evasive maneuver.
Oh! Completed!
Attacks on the command list are marked with all that to indicate whether they can be blocked with a standing guard or crouching guard. Standing guard can block all attacks except those marked with low attacks. Crouching guard cannot block attacks marked with middle attacks, but can help you avoid those marked with high attacks. Both types of guards can protect you from attacks marked with special middle attacks and special low attacks. Attacks marked with that can be avoided with jumps and jump attacks. Evading low attacks. Hold that while guarding to jump. Pressing up and the attack button at the same time will unleash a jump attack.
Completed!
Grapple breaks. Grapple breaks allow you to free yourself from your opponent's grip and avoid taking a great deal of damage. They can be performed by pressing any attack button the moment you're grabbed. When grabbed by your opponent with left square plus X, you can also perform a grapple break with left plus any attack button.
Completed!
A grapple break can still be performed even as you continue to guard by rapidly pressing square, triangle, or circle while holding X. By doing this, not only can you guard against your opponent's middle attacks, but also avoid being thrown, making it a defensive technique worth practicing. However, grapple breaks will not work on throws where flames emit from the hands when the opponent is grabbed. Very good. Those are the fundamentals of defense. Your lessons after this will be much harder. Oh boy. Defense 2. During our time together, Master Drona reminisced about his days traveling the world to train. Learn how to recover from getting hit and how to deflect your opponent's attacks. Evading an attack entirely is usually the best option, but in a serious battle, you don't always have that luxury. When you're pressed hard by a dangerous opponent, what do? Well, I'll teach you some techniques that will help you grasp victory from the jaws of defeat. Ukemi. When knocked back or to the ground by your opponent's attack, press directional plus X just as you hit the ground to perform an Ukemi. Direction you press with the D-pad determines the direction you perform the Ukemi. So it's a quickly roll up rebound. Ukemi cannot be performed after certain types of attacks, such as many of those that hit you up into the air. If you cannot perform an Ukemi, you can still avoid follow-up attacks from your opponent by guarding or rolling to the side. Wake-up actions. You can rise from the ground and immediately guard against your opponent's attacks by pressing X while on the ground. Additionally, pressing an attack button while on the ground will allow you to perform an attack as you rise. Press direction while on the ground to roll in the direction you press before rising. You can control where you fall after being launched in the air by holding direction in any direction. This will allow you to avoid additional attacks from your opponent, as well as prevent a ring out. Diagonal left and diagonal down left and diagonal up left are the safest options, but holding the direction opposite the ring edge is best.
Completed.
Guard impacts. You can repel your opponent's attack with a guard impact by pressing right X. Performing a guard impact right as your opponent's attack is about to make contact will repel the attack and leave your opponent vulnerable. Guard impacts will not work against break attacks and unblockable attacks. Reverse impacts. Having your attack repelled by your opponent's guard impact will leave you vulnerable, but you're still able to perform your own guard impact in this state. This is called reverse impact.
Feel fear.
With you and your opponents can continue to perform reverse impacts indefinitely, delaying your attacks and throw off your opponent's timing, or pressing L1 square triangle to perform a break attack can be effective ways to gain the advantage.
This is it. Forfeit. This is it. Brace yourself. There. This is it. What? What? Forfeit.
I'm trying to figure this out.
There. There.
I don't understand.
Forfeit. What? No! Brace yourself! Take this!
There we go.
Completed!
He had his reverse impact ready, and then I used a different attack. You're not limited to just reversed impacts while staggered. You can also use reversal edges, R1. Reverse impacts are perfect for countering your opponent's faster attacks, and reversal edges can help you repel their slower attacks. Learning the proper techniques for dealing with all of your opponent's different attacks is the key to victory. Loading, loading, loading. That's a long load. After the fight, Drona got a nostalgic look on his face and continued the story from earlier. To be quite honest, I have a habit of accidentally going somewhere entirely different from where I intended. That's how I ended up wandering for 3 days and nights in the Gobi Desert. I was on my last legs when a merchant caravan found me. They took me to Kashgar, and that's where I met one incredible fellow. His name was Klitsch. He was a weaponsmith and one talented warrior. He could fight with any weapon and any style under the sun. In battle, he was relentless, giving his opponent very little opportunity to act. He always said he fought to test out the weapons he made, but it was hard to believe he thought of fighting so casually. I'd never met a fiercer warrior. If only I'd known how to deflect attacks when I was on the defensive, I might have been able to put him off his balance. Alas, it was all I could do to block his attacks at that time, and before I knew it, I was defeated. If you're ever in Kashgar, I recommend you go see Klitsch. He's an expert warrior and a first-rate weaponsmith. You won't regret meeting him. A warrior smith? He did sound like someone I'd like to meet. I decided to keep Drona's recommendation in mind. Tutorial Advanced Reversal Edge. The sun had barely risen from the horizon when I went to visit Master Drona. Our lesson today would be about tactics. Learn the ins and outs of reversal edge follow-up attacks. You're up early again. Good. Diligence and hard work are the keys to developing a skilled hand and a sound body. Your dedication is admirable. Now, let's get to your final lesson. I'm talking about the clashes that emerge in the heat of battle, which require you to think on your feet. Reversal Edge Clash. Stalemate. Pressing the same button as your opponent during the clash after Reversal Edge will result in a stalemate. In event of a stalemate, both you and your opponent will enter a second round and the clash in which another button press will be necessary.
Feel fear.
The initiator of the clash will have the advantage in the second round, as they will win in the event of another stalemate. Additionally, their attack will be treated as a lethal hit and afford them the opportunity to unleash an extra powerful combo. Reaching a stalemate with your opponent isn't the only way you can extend a reversal edge clash. If you press triangle and your opponent presses X, you can break through their guard and extend the clash by forcing your opponent to guard against your triangle attack. You can greatly deplete their guard stamina.
Feel despair. Submit.
By pressing triangle in the second round and forcing your opponent to guard will always crush their guard.
Yo, feel fear. Submit. You wretch. Completed.
Reversal Edge Clash Movement. You can also move during the clash after Reversal Edge by pressing direction pad in any direction. Moving forward to dodge square, move into the foreground background to avoid triangle, and move back to evade circle. Reading your opponent and timing your dodges well can open them up to combos.
Feel despair. Too slow. Completed.
Interesting. Countering reversal edges. Reversal edge can be a reliable defensive technique, however, is not without its flaws. Break attacks and unblockable attacks are unaffected in reverse dodges. What?
Not again. This is it. I shall crush you. Yo, fair. Weak. This is it. Too slow. Feel fear. Pathetic. This is it. Too slow. Too slow. This is it. Break yourself. This is it. Before me. Brace yourself. Weakly. This is it. Sing. This is it.
Nice. Breaking the ice trophy. Attacks performed after reversal edge will always be vertical. You can use this to your advantage by using 8-way run to avoid a potential attack from your opponent after their reversal edge. I'm really liking the playstyle. Of course, this is a fighting style that I've used in all the games. That was a well-fought sparring match. From the flow of that battle, I can see that your training has so far been time well spent. Flow, you ask? That's right. Battles ebb and flow, just like the tides. You need to read that flow and think 3 moves ahead if you want to win. That's the secret. Speaking of which, remember that merchant caravan that picked me up in the Gobi Desert? They ended up hiring me on as a guard. And together we traveled down to the port in Persia. It was a big city, so I figured I could find a ship and take me back to India. As luck would have it, I soon boarded a trading ship on its way to India, which promptly was sunk by a raging tempest right as we left the Persian Gulf. For days I floated on a piece of driftwood until I washed up on the shores of Africa. My clothes were tattered and torn, but I still had my weapon. Of course, that just made the natives think I was a pirate. And I soon found myself fighting off a local warrior by the name of Wold. I'd like to believe that we were evenly matched in strength and speed, but Wold was far more experienced than I. He could read the flow of battle like a book. I couldn't, and whenever we clashed, I foolishly tried to pull off the same move time and time again. That's why I lost. Fortunately, I managed to clear up the misunderstanding. Wold and I grew close, and eventually were swore an oath of friendship. He invited me into his home in Axum, and that's where I met his sister, the woman who would become my wife. If you ever have the opportunity to go to Axum, be sure to meet Wold. He's an incredible warrior. And if you wouldn't mind, please tell him I'm extremely grateful for everything he's done for me, and that his sister and I are both healthy and happy. I didn't get a lot of style points for that one. Ooh, so that's the last of the tutorials? Initial tutorials. Player menu. Items. Okay. Back to Journey's Dawn. The Astral Fissure. If what Zasalamel had told me was true and there was a way to extend my life, I had to try it. I pursued him through a forest, but what lay ahead was a fate I could never have conceived. Defeat your opponent. 500 gold reward. The air was stifling, and each step forward required an immense amount of effort. Zasalamel, however, seemed to proceed unfazed. Eventually my eyes were greeted by something beyond my own imagination. That is an astral fissure, a rip in space and time. It is caused by the great power that flows through the earth and the evil dispersed by the evil seed. To continue living, you will need to obtain the power of the astral fissure. Naturally, it is easier said than done. Astral fissures exude a massive amount of force that will either destroy anyone weak who dares approach it, or turn them into a malfested. However, when someone with great power approaches, a flash of light will bring with it a visitor. Gwog! Don't just sit there surprised. It looks like you've got a fight on your hands. War.
Battle 1. Fight!
Defeat your opponent.
Brace yourself. This is it. Be grateful. Forfeit. Yo.
Berserker.
2. Fight. 6. This is it. Suya. 6. Oh, there. Weak. Suya. Yo. Brace yourself. Oh. Brace yourself.
The attacker burst into particles of light that soon faded. Those freakish warriors, berserkers, appear when the strong approach an astral fissure, perhaps in response to their power. Berserkers come from the memories of warriors who sought strength. To defeat them, you simply must be stronger. There is no other way. However, you can obtain phenomenal power from the fissure, which will enable you to continue living and provide resistance to Astral Chaos's attempts to devour your soul. If you can withstand the Astral Chaos, you will no longer have to fear for your life. Now, claim your power from the Astral Fissure. Encouraged by Zossalamel, I thrust my arms into the Astral Fissure. A surge of light burst forth, flowing through my arms and into my body. My heart pounded as my body began burning feverishly. As long as the scattered evil in the Earth's power remain, astral fissures will continue to appear. I hear that there is another astral fissure on the outskirts of a village to the southeast. That is all I can tell you. Before you go, take this. Zossalamel revealed a set of scales on top of which fluttered one blue flame and one red flame. These are spirit scales, otherwise known as the Libra of Soul. Take them. Your body is overflowing with energy from the astral chaos. It is the power of chaos and of order. The state of your soul will determine which power you draw from. These scales will reveal to you which way your soul is leaning. It should help you to maintain control. Now, you must embark on a journey to save your life. So long.
Your soul surges in your body.
I hit level 2. Level 3. Level 4. Nick Champion. I just started it not that long ago. Trophy, the stirrings of a soul. And it looks like it's an actual It's an actual scale that's with my character portrait. That's pretty cool. Okay, nothing new there. Eastern coastal plains of India, the Blades of Fate. I opened my eyes to an impossible sight. I was floating in a vast space. The ground was nowhere to be seen, and the sky stretched on into infinity. Ruined chunks of masonry floated nearby, a broken pillar from a temple, a half-collapsed house, a fallen tower, structures of every shape and size from every corner of the globe. At the center of it all was an enormous whirlpool of light. I watched as a colossal building was drawn into it, bricks ripping from their mortar and accelerating into the brilliant glow. A piece of rubble made contact and disappeared into utter silence. The light captivated me with its beauty, but at the same time, it filled my heart with dread. Little by little, that terrible light was drawing me in. Struggle as I might, I could not break free of its inexorable grasp. Slowly, ever so slowly, the distance between us shrank. Maybe it was destiny for my soul to become entwined with the astral chaos. But I will not submit to destiny and allow myself to be consumed by that bright harbinger of death. I need strength, the strength to defy my fate. The light drew near, when suddenly two swords appeared before me. As I reached out to grasp the floating blades, a voice broke the silence. Those who desire strength must make a choice. If you value freedom and wish for the power to pursue your own path, choose the golden sword. If you honor the virtues of harmony and reason and wish for the power to bring order to a chaotic world, choose the azure sword. I'm gonna reach for the azure sword. I grasped the azure sword and felt a wave of peace wash over me. My mind tranquil, my senses sharp. I raised the blade high, then struck a swift blow at the swirling light.
Your soul resonates with the light.
Scales have tipped towards good. During your journey, you'll sometimes find yourself faced with momentous decisions that can change your fate. These choices affect the game's story and alter the balance of the spirit scales. A mystical artifact that reflects the state of your soul. You may even unlock hidden missions depending on how these scales are tipped. Partners in crime. I fought my nightmare with every fiber of my being, when out of nowhere came a voice that would lead me back to reality. Reduce your opponent's health below a certain level to win. Ring outs or disabled. Hey, you. You okay? You want to be careful swinging your weapon around like that by yourself. Have you maybe had a few too many drinks? Barely conscious, I couldn't tell if the nightmare had ended. A shadow of what looked like an enemy wavered in front of me. One that seemed robust, strong, and armed. I readied my weapon. My only escape from this nightmare was to fight. Easy there. I'm not looking for a fight. Well, looks like I got no choice.
I won't go easy on you.
Too slow. Kneel. Follow me. This is it. Dead. Too slow. Oh. Sorry. What? Oh, I'm impressed.
You back to your senses? It wasn't a nightmare. I had been fighting for real. When I came to, a friendly yet somewhat heroic-looking man was standing before me. The name's Maxie. What do you go by? I told Maxie my name. Emperor Hate? Nice name. Don't worry, I ain't gonna steal all your possessions or anything. You know, you've got skills, but as an apology for attacking me out of nowhere, how about listening to what I got to say? It's nothing bad, just a job offer. According to Maxie, the residents of a nearby village suddenly vanished one day. At the same time, a mysterious hole formed nearby, from which strange creatures had started to emerge. The village head believed it was these creatures who had attacked the villagers, and ordered they be found and exterminated. I know how to handle myself, so I agreed to help. But they wanted me to take care of the hole as well as these creatures. Right when I was thinking I needed some help, I ran into you. The reward's juicier than a rare steak. How about a 50-50 split sound? The mysterious hole sounded a lot like an astral fissure. When I asked Maxie where it was, he pointed towards the direction I was heading. I decided to accept his offer. Alright then, let's do this, partner. With a self-assured grin, he extended his hand. In the spirit of solidarity, I grasped it firmly. Visakhapatnam, the campsite. As someone who had traveled the world, Maxie had a lot of stories to tell on our journey. All I hear nowadays is crazy talk. To the west of the continent, some lord suddenly went nuts. In another town, there was a massacre that wiped out the entire population, but nobody knows who or what caused it. Even we were attacked once by a bunch of creeps with red eyes. Maxie was the captain of a pirate crew who was venturing around the globe, yet he didn't speak in an aggressive or threatening tone. You know, I forgot to ask. What's given you the travel bug, Emperor Hate? Wary of saying too much, I mentioned there was something I needed to take care of at the astral fissure created by the evil seed. Never heard of it. Some of my crew might know something, though. I'll ask around. Man, I'm beat. I'm gonna turn in for the day. See you bright and early tomorrow. I woke up with a splitting headache, the remnants of the nightmare flickering in my mind. What's up? You were calling out in your sleep. Here, drink up. I thanked Maxie and told him it was nothing. My headache had subsided, but I wasn't going to be getting any more sleep. How ran. During my travels with Maxie, we came across a friendly young man who said he'd share the same goal as us and had a proposal. Defeat your opponent. Reward Howran's mooncake. Okay, he's gonna give a food item and money. Suddenly, I heard a voice behind me. When I turned, there was a young man standing with a smile on his face. He gave us a small nod. Greetings. May I assume you are also heading through this forest on a mission to hunt monsters? Yeah, we are. You too? Yes. My name is Hao Ren. I heard there were others who'd accepted the mission, so I thought I would introduce myself. I see. I'm Maxie. This is my partner in crime, Emperor Hate. I have a suggestion. How about we join forces? While I signed up for this mission, my intent was only to save those in trouble. I have no problem with splitting the reward with you. Sounds like a plan, but I'm gonna have to test your skills first. You game? Yes, of course. Let's begin.
Battle one. Fight! Brace yourself. Yo, this is it. Too slow. Sorry. Yo. Be grateful. Brace yourself. Sorry. This is it. Bring up. Battle two. Fight! Zap! Bear! Soya! Got it! What? This'll hurt! You're finished! I shall! Crush you! Not over yet! This is it! Oh! So
You win. I must say, your aggressive style is impressive. You're not so bad yourself. Where'd you pick up those staff skills? At Ling Shangsu alongside my brother. To be honest, I thought I'd fare better against you. Nah, you did good. I feel like it should be me asking you to join forces. You're with me, right, Emperor Hate? I mean... Sure? Then it's settled. Halrand, you're on the team. Welcome aboard. Thank you. As a sign of our new friendship, how about one of Ling Shang Su's famous cakes? No one should fight on an empty stomach. Deal me in. Come on, Emperor Hate. Dig in. Mooncake. Food. You acquired some food. Food has many different effects on missions and can carry you to victory in battle. Before a mission, pressing square select food will let you choose which food to use. Be sure to eat heartily while on missions. Bouben Soir. The qualifiers. A group of men stood blocking our path. They claimed to be part of an organization called the Qualifiers, and were clearly not here to make friends. Defeat all the opponents. So a group of guys use that for health recovery, I guess. Got a trophy, never fight on an empty stomach, because I used the food. Stop right there. What are you doing here? We qualifiers watch over the area ahead. Those without permission to proceed will be turned away. Qualifiers? I've heard the name from some rumors going around recently. Something about saving humanity. Quit babbling and get out of here already. We're only here to hunt monsters. If you share the same mission, it would benefit us all to work to... You think I was born yesterday? You're just trying to get to the astral fissure. That's Lord Aswell's. I'll be damned if you get in his way. An astral fissure? Isn't that the thing you were talking about, Emperor Hate? I knew it. Daniel. These ruffians are trying to disrupt Lord Aswell's plans. We should kill them before he arrives. Enraged, the man readied his weapon. Hold it, Voltro. He would hate us to fight over other people. The man let out a deep sigh and, with his blade pointed at us, continued to talk. We don't want any trouble. Just leave. It's for all of our sakes. If you get me. It looks like they're not budging. Heh. That just means we can skip to the good bit. Quit whispering. I, Voltro, will slay all those who stand in Lord Aswell's way.
This is it! Brace yourself! I shall crush you! Yo, give me it! This is the air! Bear! Wicked! Hey-ho! Too slow! Too slow! Sink! Feel despair! Take this! Taste power! Be gone! Eternal sleep! Hey-ho! Weak.
I think it's better if we stand down. Valtro, let's go. Damn you to hell. Next time we meet, you won't escape my blade. Going by what they said, it would seem Lord Aswell hasn't arrived yet. Let's head over before things start to get messy.
Your soul surges in your body.
Got a new version of my sword. You acquired a weapon. To equip weapons you've gathered, access the weapon list in the player menu. New weapons can have benefits such as improved attack power, critical rate, and bonuses. Use every tool in your arsenal to overcome the foes who stand in your path. Weapons you acquire have level restrictions. You cannot equip weapons at a higher level than your character. To equip stronger weapons, you'll need to raise your character's level by completing missions. Some food and weapons come with bonuses that help you in battle, such as combo damage plus 10% and health plus 10%. Some bonuses require that certain conditions be met to activate them. These conditions are written in blue. Examples of bonus activation conditions. When the guard impact hits, when a soul charge is activated, well, soul charge, and so on and so on. Weapons. Staring into the abyss. An astral fissure was waiting for us when we reached our destination. I had to take care of it, and the evil it spawned quickly. Vertical attacks do more damage for both you and your opponents. Reward ghee and wheat sweets, high quality. Don't have any food. The power surging from the deep fissure oppressed the entire area, swallowing up even the surrounding sound. That is the hole where they were talking about? Give me a break. This ain't just any hole. How troubling. It is certainly beyond our ability to handle. Hey partner, is that what you were looking for? I nodded. Maxie shook his head in resignation. Sound like the rumor about monsters appearing were true. With a burst of light, a warrior appeared from the astral fissure. It let out an earth-shaking roar as it readied its weapon. Grr, gar. Great. I knew this wasn't going to be easy. Gwar.
Battle 1. Fight! Begin!
Ow. God. He's gonna murder me.
This is it. This is it. Begin.
Broke my armor.
Battle 2. Fight. Submit. Dia. Yo. Taste power. Be gone. Eternal sleep. Weak. Brace yourself. Feel fear. Too slow. Feel fear. KO. Eternal sleep. Final battle. Fight. This is it. Be grateful. Brace yourself. Stay down. Taste power. Be gone. Eternal sleep. Weak. KO.
The fallen warrior burst into light that soon faded. We done? Jeez. What was that all about? The creature appeared to be human, but it left no trace of his existence, as though it were a phantom. I'm pretty sure the marks on my body count as traces. Okay, so what about this hole? Staring into the seemingly eternal blackness, I thrust both of my hands into the fissure. Hey, what are you doing? The hole just vanished. What the hell did you do? I told Maxie and how ran everything. After a long pause, Maxie gave a slight nod. Okay. Well, I got no reason to doubt you after what I just saw. Agreed. I've seen some bizarre things in my life, but nothing like that. How are you feeling? The mission's done, so you may as well rest up here while I check to see if the road's safe. I'll go replenish our water supply. Emperor Hate, some sweets should help perk you up. Help yourself.
Your soul surges in your body.
The man in black. I was resting after absorbing the astral fissure when I heard footsteps approaching. Moments later, a group of people dressed in black appeared. Reduce your opponent's health below a certain level to win. The astral fissure is gone, and I think I spy the culprit. What happened here? I do not know. However, something feels off. It may be something in their possession. We must deal with this at once. You stay back. As the man in black readied his weapon, a chill ran down my spine, and I felt a rush of bloodlust. I do not know what you are, but I know you possess unnatural power. Show it to me if you dare.
Watch. Taste power. This is it. Too slow. This is.
Not bad. The man relaxed his stance and put away his weapon, causing a stir amongst his allies. Are you certain? Is it really wise to let an outsider get away? I've obtained all the information I need. Ask him who he is. Hey, what's going on? Fall back. Sir. Sir. Maxie ran over and stared hard at me before speaking. You okay? What was their deal? And what was with the weird getup? Hal Rand returned, and he also realized something was wrong. I found some water. Did something happen while I was gone? Yeah, Emperor Hate was attacked by some freaky group. A freaky group? Like bandits? They didn't look like bandits. Well, at least everyone's safe. I think our way ahead's safe, but we should stay alert. Those freaks may come back. Trophy earned, the Astral Fissures Beckon. Greetings and farewells. Both greetings and farewells were to be found in Dhaka, where Maxie's employer awaited us. Your opponents moved quickly. Defeat them all. Forgive me, but this is where I must take my leave. Where are you off to in such a rush? I heard rumors of strange happenings in my hometown of Yangguang. My brother is still there and I worry for his safety. That's too bad, but I get it. It's been short, but a whole lot of fun. Take care. A safe journey to you, too. Farewell. With a bright smile and a small bow, Hal Rand left. Emperor Hate, I have to report to my employer. You go and wait by my ship. Head to the docks. You can't miss it. I'll give you your cut of the reward there. See ya. Man from Max's crew. Huh? Who are you? What do you want? Tell them you came here to crush Maxie. Tell them Maxie said for him to wait for him here. What's going on? Oh, hey, Kiam. This weirdo just turned up. Says he's got business with Maxie. That's so. Guess that means Maxie trusts him. Looks that way. If the captain likes you, you must be pretty tough. So how's about you show us how tough? I guess I'm fighting his crew. I like how it gave you the option to say you're here to crush him. Ones move more quickly, defeat them all.
This is it. This is it. You'll feel fear. Fight! Submit! Brace yourself! Submit! Feel despair! Submit! Submit!
Maxie and his crew. That was a fine show, matey. Hey, I'm back. Where's the warm welcome welcome for your captain? Welcome back, brother. You had us all worried. So what's the story with this landlubber? This crew is my savior. We gotta thank Emperor Hate here for making sure our employer's happy. What I'd say about looking before you leap, Maxie. Remember what happened last time? Oh, quit your belly aching. It all worked out in the end, didn't it? Harsh words aside, Kiam didn't really seem angry. He must be used to Maxie's flight of fancy by now. So you know, my crew's my family. They look rough, but they're a good bunch. You said you were looking for a thing, and, astral fissure? As a man of my word, I'll help you. There you go again, leaping before you go looking. Bah. So, what's this astral fissure business, anyway? I'll tell you once everyone's here. I need the whole crew on board with this. Here's your share of the bounty, by the way. Maxie handed me a bag of gold coins. It's gonna take a while to get ready, so do what you gotta do in that time. This town's got a lot of shops and some great places to eat. Why not check them out? You can now access shops in Dhaka, where you can buy goods and exchange currency. General shop, exchange gold for food and weapons. Currency exchange, exchange gold and SOULCALIBUR VI's universal currency, soul points. SOULCALIBUR VI is two types of currency, gold and soul points. Gold is saved in individual Libra soul data slots and cannot be used in other modes. You can get more from the currency exchange as needed. Gold, used only in Libra soul. Soul points, universal currency for SOULCALIBUR VI, used to unlock features in the museum, etc. So let's look at the merchants. Wait, no. Shop. Items. Ah, this is like food and equipment. Damascus blade. Is there armor? Well, it doesn't look like there's any armor things. I'm gonna go to the main menu and check out the character customization, see if you can edit your character. Creation. Customize a regular character or create your own from scratch. Hopefully it has my character saved in this and I can edit what he looks like. Character creation lets you choose from a variety of options to build your own unique character or customize a regular SOULCALIBUR character. Character creation is divided into 2 tabs. Unique, make a new character from scratch. Customize, create your own character based on other players' custom characters. You can view, save, and edit data other players have shared online by using the Customize tab. Note, data from this tab cannot be used in the following modes: ranked match and casual match. So, don't see my dude. Types of character creation. Original character creation. Design a custom character from the ground up. Regular character customization. Adjust the appearance of one of SOULCALIBUR's regular roster. Original character. SOULCALIBUR 6, you can choose from a variety of different races when you create a character. Race does not affect battle capabilities. Some customization options are not available for certain races. So it's forcing me to make new characters, so I'll deal with that next time. So I'll have to remake the Emperor. So I think that's it for today, guys. I'm liking it so far. I am kind of bummed out on the whole fighting styles not having the extra ones, but it is what it is. I'm liking the story so far with the options and the scaling of back and forth. You could get, I guess, good and evil, or blue and red on the scale. I like that you can recruit people to come with you through dialogue. That's pretty cool. But other than that, pretty good experience for my first session. I plan on doing more videos in the future, more streams, and I look forward to you guys taking part, watching, experience this with me. I'll be making characters to mess around with in the next coming sessions that I don't use in story mode. And yeah, a lot of room to expand upon with making characters and playing the story. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Emperor Haterius playing SOULCALIBUR 6 on the PS4, and I will catch you guys in the next stream. I will be doing some Assassin's Creed Odyssey tonight in just a little bit. So, see you guys in the next one.